cheaters here. When you get to be my age, you know, this kind of stuff happens. So I do have some notes. I will refer to them, but most of this is just going to come straight from the heart. Just by a show of hands, how many people know who I am? Wow! I'm flattered. I must say I'm honored, and I'm flattered, and I thank you so very much. It's very nice to be here with the Lieutenant Governor of the state and all these great dignitaries, Congresspeople, Governor. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. The radio is a very powerful medium, as I have found out. Just by way of very quick background, I started in radio in college a long, long time ago, and my career choice was disc jockey or lawyer, and I chose wrong. So I decided to come back into radio, and started in 2004, and then I met up with a guy named Ed Schultz at the Democratic Convention in Boston. That was the Kerry Edwards Convention, when Bush stole the election in Ohio instead of in Florida. And so I became part of Ed's show, and then started subbing for him, and then launched my own, and here we are. And it's my honor to be on WCPT. I have to tell you, it's not just because I'm here. The calls, the emails, book sales, which you can find at normangoldman.com. Chicagoland is far and away the most responsive of all the different cities where I am on the radio. So I thank you, I feel the love, and, you know, we have a nation to save. We do. We didn't just wake up this morning and find ourselves here. We are here because a lot of people that came before us have fought to get us here. Whether it's early Union leaders, whether it's Franklin Roosevelt, whether it's Harry S. Truman, in whose honor tonight's dinner is, we are standing on the shoulders of giants who have worked and have sacrificed for us. We, here, now, are the future that they were fighting for. Has anyone heard of Mother Jones Magazine? Heard of Mother Jones Magazine? Well, there was an actual Mother Jones. And in 1903, when Ronald Reagan was in 4th grade, in 1903, she led a strike. Mother Jones was a union organizer and agitator. She led a strike of child laborers, striking for a 55-hour work week. That was they wanted a 55-hour work week for children in 1903. So America has come a very long way since those days. And it didn't come this long way because power yielded, because power realized that right should be done. It was from fighting, organizing, educating, talking, voting, educating, raising consciousness. This is how we have made the progress. Now, right now, I hope you know I call the other political party the Republican Party. Because they are con artists. I mean, they're the Koch brothers, they're Wall Street, and they've conned a bunch of people into believing that their economic interests are aligned with the Wall Street crowd, when in fact their economic interests are aligned with us. But you know, I would really like to not call them the Republican Party. I would like to have a principled, mature, policy-based dialogue with many of my fellow Americans, where we could hash out the issues on the merits and come to a reasonable conclusion. But the evildoers, otherwise known as the Republican Party, they figured out that they can't win that way. They don't win when the facts matter. They don't win when reason is the currency of the day. So what they have resorted to for very many years now is name-calling. We're socialists, we're communists. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I heard the President of the United States, the legitimate one, the one who was actually elected, If I had a nickel for every time I heard them call them a socialist, a communist, a fascist, I mean, Warren Buffett and I would be playing poker together. They have decided the only way to win is to destroy. Destroy with personal attacks, with nasty mudslinging, with charges debasing our Americanism, challenging our patriotism. And they've gotten away with this for a very long time. I know it's a friendly crowd, but I mean, they've demonized the unions. Has anyone noticed that they've demonized the unions? And I'm sorry, but the truth is that it has worked. The name-calling, the mudslinging, the corrosive nature of their attacks on labor unions, they're taking the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, and turning it on its head and saying that authoritarian police state government is patriotic, when in fact it's un-American. It is time to fight back. I have to confess that I do enjoy calling them Republicans, and I do enjoy calling them evildoers, and I do enjoy calling them the exact same names they call us, and it hurts their feelings. You know, it does. I'm sorry, but, you know, it hurts their feelings. Because they can dish it out, but they sure can't take it. There's an arrogance about the other side. There's a haughtiness, a belief that they are special. That when we actually challenge them and say, you know, we're actually the real Americans. We actually believe in personal privacy and limited government and giving people a hand up and not a hand out. And you guys are all about corporate welfare and massive, war machine spending boondoggles that just make Dick Cheney's friends rich. And we're actually for efficient government and effective government, and we care about working people. When we challenge them, when we stand firm and tall and let them know we're not going to be bullied, they back down. Look at what's happened in Wisconsin. The people rose up, and the governor there, I call him Snot Walker. Well, he is. He's a snot-nosed little brat. And it's about time that somebody just stood up and said it. So they call me up on the radio, and they say, oh, Norm, you're so mean. You call me names. And I say, you know, I'll be happy to stop the moment you guys stop. The moment that Rush Limbaugh stops calling women feminazis, and all you guys stop calling my president a socialist, the moment you guys knock it off, I will be only too happy to return to a fact-based, reasonable, rational conversation. But you have disproven the notion that you are rational human beings. Ralph Nader once said that George W. Bush was a corporation masquerading as a human being. Well, now the entire Republican Party is a corporation masquerading as a human being. I call him Mint Raw Money because he's minted a lot of raw money. He's out there saying, corporations are people, my friend. I mean, these guys have taken their positions to such extremities. They are trying to turn America back into the America of Mother Jones's day. They want child. I mean, listen to Newt Gingrich, the Newt mayor. I mean, he wants children to be janitors in schools, cleaning toilets instead of being in the classroom learning stuff. These people need to be challenged. And I am honored that I have a radio program that's broadcast nationally. We've got more and more people listening all the time. We're in a lot of major cities. But it's about time that somebody just gave a dose of their own medicine. And at first I really didn't enjoy it. I was doing it more as an act, but I've kind of warmed up to it. And I kind of see how it works now. All you need is a quick, snappy soundbite. Just brand them or label them. and just keep hammering it over and over and over again, and it sticks. I can't think of them as a Republican Party anymore. They're now the Republicans. You just keep saying something over and over and over again, and pretty soon it works. And this is what they have done to America. They have convinced millions of our fellow Americans that the party of the 1% is the party of the 99%. And it's good to see a resurgent Democratic Party that is challenging them and challenging their words. So one of the things I'm trying to do on the radio, and I really, really like their help, when you're talking to your friends, when you're talking to your neighbors, when you're at social gatherings, I like to rewrite the narrative, because the public debate, the frames of reference, have all been stolen away from us. If somebody believes in unemployment insurance to give somebody a chance to feed themselves and keep a roof over their heads when times are tough, that's a socialist program. Social Security and Medicare, which are insurance policies, just as assuredly as your auto insurance policy is, Social Security and Medicare, which we pay into, and then we get policy benefits back. All of a sudden, it's an entitlement program. They have taken hold of the language, and they say a word, and it triggers thoughts in people's minds. They say liberal, which I've decided is correctly spelled L-I-B-R-U-L-L, because of the way they pronounce it. Those liberals, L-I-B-R-U-L-L. Governor, it's a spelling lesson. L-I-B-R-U-L-L. And I started to think of it as like a kind of a little raccoon or something. It's just a small, a liberal. Oh, those liberals. And the language is so imprecise, and they want it that way. They want people to be trained, mind-trained, to think socialism, ooh, be afraid, it's bad. Liberal, socialism, terrorism, liberal. They have done this relentlessly, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but not enough people on our side have stood up and challenged them on it, on that exact point, and said, now wait a second. Now that we're talking about it, you guys are fascists. We are the defenders of the Constitution. We are the defenders of the Bill of Rights. This is our America now, and you're not going to redefine it without a fight. Which brings me to my last point. Have you ever seen the movie Rocky? You've seen the movie Rocky, right? He's running up the stairs. Gary Cooper, I mean, you guys are pretty young. I don't know if you remember Gary Cooper. Big movie star. John Wayne. America likes fighters. America respects somebody who gets up and keeps battling, even if ultimately they lose the battle. When I was in my first career as a lawyer, if somebody was terribly injured in an accident, and they're in front of a jury with the judge and the corporate trial lawyer over there, and you get the injured person, grievously injured person, on the witness stand to tell their story, and the lawyer for the injured person would say, how has this accident affected your life? If that person, that injured person, says, oh, my life is miserable now. I can't clothe myself. My life is just terrible. It's pain all the time. That's just a bunch of whining. The jury just turns their back on that person and says, I don't like this, and I'm not going to award this person proper compensation. But if that exact same person, with that exact same injury, on that exact same witness stand, in the exact same trial says, I really wish that accident hadn't happened to me. I really could still use my other arm, but I don't have it anymore. But you know what? I'm managing. I'm figuring out how to button my shirt. I still have one good arm. I get different shoes now that I use Velcro so I don't have to tie laces. I'll be all right. Because sure it hurts, but I've got pretty good doctors. And there are people lots worse off than me, so I'll be okay. The jury falls in love with that person, and they award that person proper compensation because they are on that person's side, because that person is a fighter, that person will not be going down to adversity, and that is the attitude that we need, and that is why the unions are so important. The unions fight for workers. The unions fight for the people that get up early in the morning, put on their work clothes, and get out there and bust their butt to do a proper day's work for a proper day's pay. The people that are being downtrodden, the people who are having the tax burden dumped on them so that mint raw money doesn't have to pay more than 15%. The people who are going to be asked to settle this $15 trillion national debt are the working people. And I guarantee you this political party in this nation starts with an R, I think you can guess. They don't believe that working people deserve a voice or an even shake. It's the unions that advocate for the workers, and it's amazing to me how we have all these jobs sent overseas, and there's no national outcry to bring the jobs home and make these jobs good union jobs. We've got Chinese workers hurling themselves off the tops of buildings because their lives are so miserable. They're working in sweatshops, they have no chance of survival, and now the company's putting nets around the building so that they can't hurl themselves off and kill themselves. There ought to be a big national outcry to bring these jobs home and make them union jobs. And it's the unions that are doing that advocacy. So we have a daunting task. We are up against some very crafty, very nasty people who know how to manipulate language. They know how to craft very simple slogans that trigger a bunch of feelings in people's minds. They have been relentless for 30 years or more. They've been calling us liberals and socialists and communists and big government, and they've drummed this nonsense into the minds of millions of people who have no business believing any of that nonsense. And we have to go and cleanse their minds of the lies and get them woken up to the truth. The unions have to lead the way, the Democratic Party has to lead the way, and you and I have to lead the way. I'm lucky enough that I have a radio program. I turn on the microphone and there's a lot of people listening. And I do my best to sass all the Republicans into listening because I'm trying to wake them up. And I'm trying to wake up the independents. But you need to do it too. Every one of us has a powerful voice. Whether there's a microphone in front of you 3 hours a day or not, you've got a powerful voice. And King County, I can tell, was kind of written off as kind of a Republican bastion. But a group of people, the King County Democrats, said no. We're going to challenge that assumption, we're going to work, we're going to fight, and we're going to turn this county blue. And we do it county by county, city by city, town by town, neighbor by neighbor, with each of us pulling in the same direction, we can get the job done. So I thank you so much for inviting me. It's my honor to be here with you. I'm over at table 21, and I've got stuff to sign and all of that, but I thank you. If you spend any time with me on the radio Monday through Friday on WCPT, I'm honored. I appreciate it. I know you're very busy. You've got a lot of time, a lot of things to do. And so any time you spend with me during the day, I'm honored and I'm flattered. Have a great evening. I'm here, and thank you so much.